In this video, I'm going to show you how to identify and work with the key players who determine whether your complex deals succeed or stall. Hi, I'm Rode. I spent the last decade in sales, closing over $10 million in deals, and I've trained hundreds of sales professionals. And today, I want to share what I've learned about navigating the tricky side of complex sales. Picture your biggest deal right now. It looks promising, you've got a budget, your sales champion is excited, the ROI is clear, but something isn't quite right. Meetings are getting harder to schedule, decisions are taking longer, and that momentum that you initially had, it's starting to fade. And here's why this often happens. Here's what most people tend to miss out when it comes to complex sales. Beneath every deal's surface lies an entire cast of characters, each with their own agenda, fears, and motivations. Think about the players you might never see until it's too late. The IT manager worried about integration, the end users concerned about changing their workflow, the process owner that's protecting their territory, or even the senior leader needing to show department-wide results. If you miss any of these players, in my opinion, your deal is at severe risk of probably stalling. You misread their roles and you lose momentum. Approach them in the wrong order and you run the risk of creating resistance. But here's what I personally found typically changes everything. While every organization is different, these players often fall into predictable patterns. Once you know how to spot them and understand their motivations, you can turn what looks like chaos into a clear path forward. But let me show you exactly who these players are and how their roles influence your deal. Let's start with the 4 categories of influencers you'll tend to encounter in a complex deal. First up, the impact influencers. These are the frontline teams that are directly affected by your solution. They are oftentimes overlooked, but crucial for spotting real problems. Listen for phrases like, "if only we could." They know the pain points. Next, we have the influence influencers. These are the people in the organization that hold formal or informal decision-making power. They often have budget authority, but they need others' buy-in. Watch for phrases like, "we need to run this by." They reveal the true decision paths. This brings us to the information influencers. These are the people that know the technical requirements and any system limitations. They can validate or invalidate your solution's viability. Listen for phrases like, "how will this work with?" They spot integration issues. And finally, we have the insight influencers. These folks know how decisions really get made in the organization. They also understand past attempts at similar changes. Watch for phrases like, "last time we tried," because they know the hidden obstacles. Here's what makes this complex. Within these categories, you'll tend to find 3 key roles. First, the victims. The victims feel the daily pain of the current situation. They can quantify the cost of not changing and usually have workarounds that they've developed to cope. Then you have the perpetrators. They've invested time in current processes and they may lose influence if change happens. So they need to see their place in the new solution. Which brings us to the chief victim. The chief victim has organizational responsibility for the problem and oftentimes feels pressure to deliver results because they have to navigate competing interests across different teams. Now, the key is understanding how these roles overlap. An impact influencer might also be a victim. An insight influencer could be a perpetrator. And the chief victim is often an influence influencer. Now that you understand these players and their roles, here's the crucial part: how to work with each one effectively. Your approach needs to be strategic and intentional. And here's what I'd recommend to do. Begin with the impact influencers because they know the ground truth. Use the information influencers to pressure test your solution, and then bring in the influence influencers only when you've built momentum. Now, this is what I'd recommend in terms of managing the key roles. You connect the victims to share their common challenges. You show the perpetrators how they become heroes in the change, and you help the chief victim see the path to success. And the reason we're doing this is we want to build consensus. We want to create conversations where different perspectives get heard. And I strongly recommend documenting any shared challenges and desired outcomes because we want to guide the conversation toward collective solutions. When you understand these players and how to work with them effectively, complex sales becomes much more manageable. You're no longer just working an org chart, you're orchestrating a decision process that works for everyone involved. And hopefully this all makes sense. Let me know in the comments, which one of these characters shows up most often in your deals? And if you want to dive deeper into complex sales strategies, join us in the Sales Cafe community where we break down these concepts in detail each and every week. The link will be in the description. Again, this is Rode, the Black Sales Guy, and I'll see you in the next one.